Hello and welcome back to the studio where I paint away the stress of everyday life here in Wales. I'm in blue today, not because I'm in a blue mood, it's just I thought we'll paint with blue today. And it's a bit cold in the studio, so I put my jumper on. As you can see, I got a 10x8 canvas panel. I've gessoed it, put a little drawing on there. That's available on the website www.clive5art.co.uk if you want to pop along and download that. And let's have a look at the palette. As I said, blues. Prussian blue, ultramarine blue and cerulean blue with a little bit of white and black, and that's all it is. So without further ado, let's get on to this painting. So I'm just picking up a long-handled short flat. I've got to like to use these long-handled ones because it means I can sit back a little bit. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of titanium white, and I think I'm just going to use a little bit of cerulean blue, just a small amount of cerulean blue, just on the tip of that bristle, and I'm just going to put in some sky like this, using that crisscrossy type of motion. And 10x8, why have I picked a 10x8? Because it was just convenient, and I just wanted to use the panel up. You can paint this on any size canvas you want. This was inspired by a little trip that I had in November 2017 to Spain, in fact, and I've seen a few buildings around there, and I thought, yeah, it looks nice. And they've got this. I've noticed them in Greece as well. Actually, I've been to Greece a few times, and I noticed these buildings all tend to be blue and that. And I thought, well, let's see if we can't replicate that. You can see I'm putting on a little bit of paint here and there. I'm just trying to get that sky colour in. I don't want to go too thick in the background. Very lightly brushing over. I want to darken this up. I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine just on a touch, on a tip of my brush. Yeah, I want to put a bit of warmth in this sky. Now this ultramarine blues tend to be a little bit red biased. That means it's a lot warmer. It's got a purple tone to it. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you've got a bit of a tonal difference there. So some ultramarine blues are not biased at all. So you just need to make sure that you bear that in mind when you're painting something like this. The cerulean blue has got a bit of a green undertone to it. There we are. Let's put a bit of white. I don't want to destroy my painting, my drawing. I'll go around that. And now what I suggest you do is put your backgrounds in first and then put your drawing on. I do this because it's just easier and quicker for me. I just tend to put the drawings on first now. I want to put a little bit of colour over there. A touch more, a little bit of ultramarine blue just in this corner. And don't stress too much about painting. Just let the brush do what it wants to do, really. The trouble is with when you're learning to paint, you tend to overthink. Sometimes, as you've heard me say in the past, it's better to leave things slightly undone because it seems to work better. There you go. I'm just going to leave that as it is for now. I want to see how I get on with this. So I'm just going to rest my brush into some water. Don't leave them soaking there too long, otherwise you will have problems. Okay, I'm going to pick up I got a little filbert brush here. I'm not sure what number that is, but it looks like a number 3 or something. Get some Prussian blue now. Oh, I made a cork on a stick. You've seen me use this before, and that's just basically there just for me to rest my hands. And I'm just going to paint directly into that sky with a bit of Prussian blue, and I'm just going to make some sort of distant land shape like this. Be loose. Don't, as I said, don't tend to overbrush and things. How nice is that? Got a bit of headland there. Maybe this is a Greek island. Maybe it's not Spain. Or maybe it's a peninsula somewhere in Spain. Who knows? I don't know. Just make it up. So, a couple of little darker patches here and there. There you go. I'm taking the excess off my brush onto some kitchen paper that I've got underneath the easel. I'm just going to add a bit of white to this. I want to lighten that up. Make some sort of a mountain shape. So it could be even more distant then. Oops, too much. Just make a lighter shade. There we go. Still got that Prussian blue colour. That's nice. Let's get a little bit of ultramarine blue and a little bit of cerulean blue. I'm going to mix out a little bit of white with that. A little bit at a time. It's better to add a little bit at a time rather than too much, because you can't take it away once it's in there, but you can add to it. And let's just try that colour. That's quite a nice romantic looking blue. Let's add a bit more white to it. That's better. I'm just going to go around my drawing, a bit like painting by numbers this is. And if you've never tried painting by numbers, I suggest you have a go, because a little bit of ultramarine blue now, therapeutic wise, it's really good. And especially if you've never painted before and you want to try to get into painting, there is nothing wrong with having a go at painting by numbers. Some people say, it's cheating, it's cheating. No, it's not. It's therapeutic. It's no different than getting a colouring book and some pencils. I just added a bit of Prussian blue or some felt tip pens or something like that. I'm just darkening the water as we come forward, because this is the sea. This is the Mediterranean Sea, or it could be the Adriatic Sea. Who knows? Depends where we are. Could be Greece or it could be Spain. And yeah, have a bit of fun, enjoy. I had a painting by set numbers bought for me for Christmas as a laugh, but I'll be honest with you, I used to do them when I was a child, and well, even as a young adult actually, and I found them very, very good for sitting down sometimes and just painting in the kitchen, and why not? Who says you can't do that? Who says we can't do painting by numbers? See, I'm trying to put this on as loose as I can, so we're building up a bit of a scene there, darker as we come towards us. We need to come a little bit darker as we come towards us, and just put those little stroke marks in. Don't worry about blending it out too much. There you go. And if you're in a blue mood, then that's fine. We can't be happy all the time. Let's just put a few little breakers in like that. Using the same brush, just put a few, be loose. These paintings sell really well on craft fairs and things, and if you can do a demonstration or something, then if that's your thing, then do that. You see many artists, especially in places like Greece and Spain and on the coasts there, Tenerife and Lanzarote and Gran Canaria and places like this. You'll see all these different types of paintings being done sometimes on the streets. And if they can do it, so can you. And as I said, just blocking in like that. Have a bit of fun. What you're doing when you're actually painting around something like this, you've got to be loose. And sometimes these little brush strokes will just work wonders. Whereas when you're just trying to block in something like this, you're going to be painting it as one. I'm going to bring a bit of headland out, again a bit of Prussian blue back on my brush. Got a bit of white in there, so it's lightening it a little bit more than I wanted it, but I want to bring this headland out a little bit more now, like as if there's a bit more sticking out there, so it goes back in sequence then. Bring that around like that. Be loose. You see these street artists doing it. They're not worried too much about accuracy, are they? They just want to make their money, so they need to get these paintings done quickly in order to get their money. There's a lot to be learned from these artists, these street artists, that you'll see. So if you've got the opportunity to go and see these people, then please do that. I think that's brilliant. So okay, let's work at these domes now. So I'm going to use the same brush, but I'm going to go into some Prussian blue, and I want to just paint on it's like a semicircle type of brush stroke like that. And as I do that, I'm going to pick up some cerulean blue now. I'm going to add that in just to get that dome shape. And then I'm going to pick up a bit of white just on the tip of my brush like this, because I want to go into the top of this dome, because that's getting a little bit of a light, but we also need to put a bit of contrast in as well. Which way is the light coming from? Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because at the end of the day, this is abroad, and the sun is most probably coming straight down onto this building, and that's what you say to yourself sometimes, and it just makes life a little bit easier for you. Yeah, just get that. You spend a little bit more time. I'm going to get a little bit more Prussian blue, put a little bit more colour there. Just wiping my brush off onto my kitchen roll, and I'm getting some cerulean blue, mixing that in, and even some brush strokes there, because it all adds to the effect. There you go. Spend a little bit of time, put a little bit of thought into the brush strokes now, but you can see what I'm doing there. Again, we need to look at this building now. So I'm just going to get a bit of Prussian blue onto my brush. I'm going to put some dark areas in like this. Wiping my brush. I'm using the same brush. I'm not washing my brush in water or anything. I'm just using the paint that's on the brush. And now I'm going to pick in a little bit more cerulean blue onto this dome, blending into that Prussian blue. Just letting the brush, not pushing hard on the brush, I'm just letting the paint come off the brush. So I've got the multitude of colours, but I'm not actually pressing too hard. Taking a bit more paint off my brush, picking up some white now, again putting that little dome effect there, and let's bring in some highlight there like that. So there's a bit of light catching. Bit of light catching there. Okay. I quite like that. That looks quite nice. Now, I'm going to get some same brush. All I did is pull the paint off onto my kitchen roll. And now I'm going to get some clouds, maybe wisping around like this. Just using little tiny circular marks like this. Just to develop some wispy clouds. And as the brush gets drier and drier with less paint in it, the paint gets lighter there, darker there than there, look, see, because there's less paint. So it's picking up the undercolour of blue, which makes it look like a bottom of a cloud. So I'm just turned the brush like that to get a little bit more paint off my brush, to get a bit of a fluffiness into this cloud here. And again, dry brush, just to give you that shadow underneath of that cloud there, like that. Some wispy clouds, picking up some more paint. And just be loose. I'll put a bit of cloud over here. And this indigo in. See if we can do that. Yeah, there's one of them little streaks of cloud you can see coming off the fins and the tail fin and the wing of a plane. That's maybe somebody's just flying home or just arriving in whatever country this is. It could be Greece or Spain. Who knows? Okay, we're not going to do many more clouds. I'm just going to dry brush bottoms of these clouds out. You get the effect. So you can put as many or as few as you want. But we've developed a nice little scene there now. Okay, so I'm going to pick up, I got a little detail brush here. This is a number 1 detail brush, and I'm going to continue to use this filbert brush. And what I want to do now is just go into some pure white. I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't used any water or anything today. I'm just using neat paint. And I just wanted to show you that you can do that if you want to. And you're not going to get any binding issues then with that. So let's just block in. Our building. Because these buildings were white, I think, when I seen them. They were white, yes. I thought blue and white, that looks really nice. And looks quite inviting as well. Here we are. So building this. Building up. Building the building. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a little bit of Prussian blue to that, and that can be a shadow colour. So it's just slightly off white. Let's get a bit more white over there and a bit more Prussian blue to it. There we are. Shadow in there. Just get a bit more blue on my brush. And now under there, let's get some white. Just basically paint it in like that. But think of the shades and shapes. It's important you think of shades and shapes. So this side could be slightly darker. The light seems to be coming this way, so this could be. The light could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. But we'll make this side just slightly more in shadow, like that. There you go. And continuing that theme across there. Using a bit of cerulean blue now. Bit of cerulean blue and white now, which will. We don't want it too dark. Slightly darker shadow though. There, like that. And then we can bring something across there. Oh, it's looking nice. Let's put a bit more white on my brush. Just to separate those two lines. Getting a bit of Prussian blue on my brush now. I just want to darken down there like that. Maybe something is casting a shadow on that side of the building that's making it look slightly darker. There you go. Let's get some bright white. Let's put a veranda or something there, is it? Yes. So that's catching a light, and then in there it's a little bit more shadow. So that could be a little spot where you go and stand and you got to look at the sea. You could do that. What a lovely place to live. What a lovely place to go on holiday. And this is going to be in shadow again. Let's get a bit of white. It's just a glint in a way. It's catching a bit of light. We need to lighten this up there now. There you go. I'll tell you what we haven't done. I've put a bit of sea in there. So let's just put a bit of sea in there like that. Let's get a little bit of black. Just to give a little bit of contrast. So there's something sticking in. Maybe that's a chimney or something. Maybe that's a chimney there. And we could put a let me think, a bit of Prussian blue, I think. Another little dome there. This is why I got the small brush, is because I just wanted to put something on top there like that. There you go. Okay, I need to think. I need to put some white in there. Be loose. I'm being loose with this. Now I'm going to put some highlights on this building. Just to give it a little bit of life. I need to sit back and I need to look at that building. Yes, is it looking okay? It's possible, yes. I think that's okay. So we need to bring some light into this side. That's just, this is a little bit of a chimney thing by there. Not this one, that's the chimney, isn't it? Or whatever. I don't know. Just make it up. I don't know. Just make it up. I could bring that colour out a bit more. Put that a little bit more in shadow there. And that's going down onto the roof. We get a bit of white. Get a bit of cerulean blue and white now. I'm going to put this roof in place. That's going to be dark then. That side's going to be darker. Bit of Prussian blue. Just try and straighten your lines up a bit if you're like me and you. There we go. Let's just put a few, maybe bits and pieces in there. Don't know what that is. Could be somebody's sunbathing on the rooftops, maybe. I don't know. Just making this up. So let's concentrate on this building now first. There you go. And we got a building coming in there. Could be a holiday complex, couldn't it? Or it could be a villa. Some people buy villas abroad, don't they? Or timeshare or something. Who knows? Let's put a bit of a white line across there, just to represent maybe some bricks or something. There you go. So a little bit of depth there. Not too happy about this edge, so we'll just take this edge straight down, I think, like that. I'm getting some white now. I'm going to paint in around like that. Pure white. Makes me want to go on holiday. Really does. I went to Tenerife, as I said, and it's a lovely place. But I used to do a lot of sightseeing once. I used to have travelled quite a lot over the years, enjoying sightseeing days. I don't sightsee so much now. I just tend to just lie and relax and paint and things, and I enjoy the culture of different countries. Always wanted to visit Australia and New Zealand, but hopefully one day I'll have the opportunity to do that, but who knows. I don't mind if I don't. We've got to have goals, and we've got to have dreams, that's for sure. And it's very important that we have dreams to follow. Just putting a little bit of detail into these windows. Get a bit of ultramarine blue, a bit of white. Just mixing that together very quickly just to warm up these shadows a touch. There, like that. And as you've heard me say many times before, you've got a little bit more time than I have. All I'm doing is showing you a way of doing something. What do you tend to do with what I've shown you is entirely up to you. However long this takes you to paint, then it takes you to paint it. I'll just put a bit of ultramarine blue in there just to act as a shadow. There's a lot of shadow down there, and I just want to block that out anyway. Sometimes it's the best way to do something is to be loose like this. I'll leave some brush marks showing, as I've said. A bit of white to show the side of that building. Picking up a bit more white. I want to brighten up that edge, like that. Maybe a little bit of white there. I don't know exactly where this light is shining, but it's just a matter of building up a little bit of shape and form. I'm going to put another little dome on there, picking up a bit of black. Put some detailing marks in. Just makes things stand out a bit more. This gives a little bit of contrast then. So let's go back to this filbert brush before it dries on me. I want a nice white, not as bright as I thought, nice bright white top on there, like that. Get a bit of ultramarine blue and white just to put the shadow there, bringing that shadow across, and then a little bit of cerulean blue, a slightly darker shadow there. Make it look as if it's some sort of seating area or something that you can sit on and maybe have a glass of wine with your family or someone. You can paint deck chairs in there, you can paint somebody standing there if you want to. You can always paint somebody sunbathing or something if you wanted to. It's your painting. You do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Let's put a little bit of light down there. I'm going to do another painting after this one, and I'm going to use the same colours because I don't want to throw my paints away. So as I'm painting this, I'm thinking about what I can paint next. And sometimes you've got to let your mind drift. And I upload every Monday, so if you want to subscribe, then please press the subscription button at the end of this video. And there's going to be a little video, little thumbnail will pop up at the end. You can click on there, it'll take you to another video to watch if you want to watch that one. Or in the top right hand corner as you look at your screen, there is a little iCard there. It's a little eye in a circle, and there's some playlists in there and some videos that I've put in that might help you on your journey of artwork. So just increase the white as this is drying. Just put an extra bit of highlight in like that. And just enjoy the painting really. We could put a little bird or two birds in, or three birds flying in the sky. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio today, and please have a go at this. It's a bit of fun, and then you can build up these layers as much as you want and just increase the highlights here and there and there and here. And don't forget to press that subscribe button. Follow along with me every Monday, and please like as well, and please send me comments because I'll always reply to your comments. So until then, I will see you. Thank you very much for joining me today. Bye.